Episode 1 of Black Mirror Season 6, titled Joan is Awful, covers a multitude of hot topics, ranging from surveillance, AI-generated content, the licensing of celebrity images, corporate ownership of practically everything, and of course, tech-driven social ostracism, which has come up plenty of times before in past seasons of Black Mirror. Then, at 48 minutes 50 seconds, the episode adds another element to the story.
That's the variant of Joan is Awful that the Joan below you sees when she watches the show.
What? The Joan below me? What?
You're not the original Joan. That's Source Joan.
Source Joan?
Yeah, you're just a Joan.
Who's Source Joan?
The real Joan. Look, there, Source Joan.
Simulation theory. It's become a familiar concept. Are we living in a simulation? And how can we ever know for certain? However, the way it's presented in Joan is Awful is similar to the 1973 film World on a Wire and the 1999 film The 13th Floor, both of which were based on the 1964 novel Simulacron 3. The protagonist in the book and both films is a detective investigating the disappearance of a computer scientist who has developed a simulated world populated by simulated people. The detective ultimately discovers that his own reality is also a simulation, and just one of many simulations removed from actual reality.
What? We're not in reality right now. This is fictive level 1.
In Joan's case, her Annie Murphy biosim and the accompanying Streamberry universe is merely one level removed from the real Joan, which of course is merely one level removed from Netflix viewers, real people who live in actual reality, ostensibly. Joan may be based on a real person, but she's been digitally converted into fiction. Similarly, in the 2021 film Free Guy, a bank teller is shocked to discover that he's actually a non-player character in a video game. But even without digital world building, there are many examples in film, literature, and television of fictional characters who are aware that they are fictional characters.
Get me out of here! What?
There's a philosophical theory known as fictional realism, which proposes that fictional characters and the fictional worlds that they inhabit do actually exist as abstract artifacts, like laws, ideology, governments, and corporations. They may not be physically tangible, but they are just as real as your friends and relatives. Seen in this way, Mickey Mouse is, for all intents and purposes, just as real as Martin Luther King or Donald Trump, or Reese Witherspoon. Fictional realism can also be viewed as an outgrowth of the many worlds interpretation of quantum physics. If there is an infinite number of universes, there clearly has to be one where Grogu exists in physical form, and you only exist in a dream he had. The HBO series Irma Vep does a fantastic job of demonstrating the overlap of fiction, reality, and memory, which is itself a kind of fiction, and it does so in a way that's as equally multiversal as Everything Everywhere All at Once. Source Joan and her many versions can also be viewed as a demonstration of mimesis, the way art and literature imitate nature. For Plato, he considered theater and poetry to be inferior imitations of reality, which is already an inferior imitation of true reality, the intangible ultimate reality he called the forms. Using Joan is Awful as an analogy, the Salma Hayek TV show is the fictional imitation universe. Annie Murphy Joan lives in physical reality, and Source Joan, who winds up opening up a coffee shop, is a platonic form.
What?
And of course, this ignores the fact that, unlike Source Joan, we, the audience, actually live in physical reality, and as such are still a step removed from the true reality of Plato's forms. For Aristotle, mimesis is a key human instinct, a learning process. Through our interaction with art, we can acquire knowledge about ourselves and our world. Despite being set in a technocratic dystopia, Joan is Awful could also be read as a very optimistic statement on the value of fiction, in whatever form it takes, as a means of getting the reader, the viewer, the audience, closer to realizations about themselves that they might not have arrived at otherwise.